We're going to wait for a couple of people to come live with me. My name is Hannah. I'm an intuitive healer for celebrities. If you don't know me, welcome. Hey, Katya, nice to see you. Alright, I'm just going to share this. Just been on live stream for like 2 hours doing readings. It was a bit friggin' exciting. Very intuitive jump in there and feel a bit exciting, and I want to talk about manifesting because it feels like a lot of, I don't know, a lot of energy around it or a lot of questions around it right now, and I'm just sharing this and I'll be right with you. Hi Merwin, nice to have you here. Please let me know if it's your first time here. Alright, so a couple of things I wanted to talk to. If you've got any questions at all, please comment and I shall speak to them. But I really felt called to jump on live stream and talk to you about two things, right? So, you know, like pulling your energy back in is like your number one golden key for manifesting, right? Because whilst we're like, you know, doing our manifestation practices, whether it's like journaling or visualizing or any personal development work that allows you to raise your vibration, right, and shift out your blocks, because that's what we're ultimately doing. When we raise our vibration, we shift out the blocks along the way so that we can continue to get lighter and lighter and shift out the limiting beliefs, which then cause the blocks and all that sort of thing. Yeah. Yeah, nice one, Moen. Thanks for joining here too. Nice to have you. And yeah, it was actually in that live stream that that it just feels like there was so many people, you know, like talking about manifesting and, you know, doing all that, you know, like manifesting, but then we get stuck on, you know, certain things, or then we have like a zillion ideas come in and we don't know which one to go for. And the thing with, you know, manifesting and even, I don't know, like being an entrepreneur or, you know, using your gift or doing your work, right, whatever that is, when you, you know, you get quicker and quicker and quicker, and it's just like your intuition, right? It's a muscle, yeah, your intuition is a muscle. And like I always say, you know, when you go to the gym, like you don't just go and run a 10K marathon without any training at all, right? You go to the gym, you train, you get fit, you get healthy, and then you'll go and run the 10K marathon, right? So it's not like, you know, like you might get bits of intuition, and then you might not know what they are or where they come from or, you know, anything like that. But it takes practice, and, you know, like you can, what's the word? Like you can strengthen them. Yes, like there's strengthening ways, you know, like exercises, just like go to the gym, there's certain exercises to do certain muscles. There's certain exercises that you can do to work different intuitive muscles, yeah, because we have more than one. And with that, where was I going with that? Train of thought there. Thinking. So coming back to the running a 10K marathon, right, so when you get intuition, right, okay, so that's what I was talking about, the manifesting magic, got it. So, you know, like when you start working on shifting your blocks, shifting your vibration, and, you know, like moving forth into, you know, like being stronger in your intuition, then you don't, like you'll pick it up quicker, right? So I know there's a few of you jumping on from the gifted group. On my private page, I don't do free readings all the time. So like on my page, I'm doing live streams now. Sometimes I do feel called to, like yesterday I did feel called to do live stream readings. So if you would like to book a psychic reading, I'm happy to, I'll put the link in the comments and I'm happy to help you that way. Otherwise, I will be back in the gifted group Monday next week if the admins approve me and are happy for that too. So I'm happy to do that there. Otherwise, please send me a private message and I'm happy to book a psychic reading for you. So don't think I'm ignoring you. It's just that I see the comments come up there, and that's my energetic boundaries. So I just did live readings for like 2 hours in their group. And I love doing it, but yeah, I've just been mindful of my energy too. So Merwin, you say exercise is a must. Okay, so I want you to look at that as though exercise is a must to running a marathon. You could easily just go and run a 10K marathon. Would you be that good at it or that fit at it? Depending, right? Maybe you're pretty fit usually, maybe not, right? So that would be your answer there. So, you know, like we're all going to be able to run a 10K marathon. If saber-toothed tigers were chasing us, we'd be able to friggin' run, right? But, you know, if you're physically like an athlete, you'd be doing, you know, strict training and, you know, diet and health and, you know, food, you know, all that exercise and stuff like that. So when you look at it like that, that'll give you your answer, yeah? If you want to be really clear in your intuition, if you want to, you know, be really clear, basically, then yeah, there is certain exercises that you can do to, one, strengthen your muscles. You know, there's clearing exercises, there's wound healing, which will shift out the big energetic blocks sitting in your aura, which are, you know, like your old kind of traumas and wounds from this life, past lives. And that way, you know, you become vibrationally lighter altogether. So instead of, you know, only seeing this, you know, you've got a big block here and you can't see, when you do the work on that wound and you shift and dissolve that, well then that vision becomes clearer too, if that makes sense. And you just receive more in general when you shift through your blocks. Yeah, I know so many people did, Deidre. I really wanted to help. Like, I was like, yeah, I'll just get on and do everybody's readings. And I'm like, wow, there's so many people joining me. So I really, like, honestly, heartfelt wanted to get to everybody. But it just, yeah. And I forget, too, that I do quite in-depth readings. It's not just like, oh, yeah, this is what the card says. And the next person, like, that's not how I work. So, as you've seen. So, yeah, please, yeah, just maybe try and catch me next week in it. Otherwise, happy to book a private reading for you. So, okay, so the point of me saying about that, thanks for your comment there. Your question, Merwin, it almost sounds like Merlin. Merlin's like one of my spirit guides, Merwin. That's cool. Okay, so I just wanted to check the comments there. So the manifesting magic, and the thing that I wanted to speak to, that I felt called to speak to today, you know, like, number one thing is, you know, when we're doing our exercises, and whether that's for building our intuition or manifesting, it's all kind of the same ultimately. Working with energy, working with, you know, consciousness, working with awareness, working with, you know, like all that, you know, energy threads there. Because ultimately when we do have, you know, all those, anything that we do, we put energy into, right? And that energy will sit there as like a thread, or a cotton thread, or a cord, if you will. It'll sit there until you do something about it. Because you can imagine over your lifetime, in this lifetime, let alone the rest of them, just in this lifetime, there's all these kind of energetic threads to everything in your past, yeah? And when you start, you know, working personally, like I've seen some memes things, it's like, oh, let's awaken to spirituality. It's all happy and bliss. And it's just like, are you kidding me? It's just like, oh my God, because we're facing our stuff, and not everybody has the courage to face their own stuff. So, you know, kudos to you if you are, you know, on the journey and you are actually looking at your own stuff instead of pointing the finger and blaming everyone else. Because remember, when you point the finger, you've got one finger pointing at that person and you've got 3 fingers pointing at you. So let's just pull back the trigger and let's just turn around and love you instead, yeah? So Karen, I see you said, where should someone start that has a feeling of bad juju? Clearing all the chakras. Yes, definitely. I'll post a link in the comments right now. My internal compass chakra clearing meditation, like there's the internal compass and then there's the internal compass chakra clearing. So there's 2 meditations you get. They're both free. I'll post a link in that now. And that's definitely a good place to start, plus the recalling your energy meditation. So I'll post that in the comments there too. They're all free, these ones that I'm sharing right now. Calibrating your internal compass. No, not that one. Which one is it? Recalling your energy. Because that's what the recalling your energy is, specifically what I was talking about on this live stream. Manifesting magic. What did I say? Manifesting magic. How pulling your energy back in is golden key, right? Because ultimately, you know, and that's the same thing, you know, like bad juju, bad energy. When you're feeling that, you can, like I was saying, you know, you've got all these threads of energy to all directions of time and space, of everywhere you've been to in the world, with people you've connected with, even online, you know, because it's all just energy. So when you start, you know, like threading, you know, working through these threads, like you feel bad energy and you don't even need to be in the vicinity of the person or the place to be able to feel it, because through these energy threads, like an energy has no time space reality, like everything is energy. Everything is made up of atoms at a atomic level, scientific atomic level, yeah, everything is vibrating densely of atoms, and because of this, it's, you know, the energy that moves through in that way. Okay, so the point of what I'm saying here, how pulling energy back is golden key. So when you work through manifesting, so the 2 points I wanted to say is that, yes, we need to do our journaling practices of, like, you know, like journaling for manifesting, working on our limiting beliefs, working on, you know, our blocks and all that sort of thing. It's kind of standard in manifesting. It's kind of standard in personal development, to be honest, you know, and it just kind of becomes normal. So when you start, like pulling your energy back in, it's like recalling your energy. That's why I specifically made that meditation, recalling your energy. So that's a free meditation. You can go grab that now. You can download it and do it immediately. And it just literally calls all your energy threads back into yourself. And what that does is stop you feeling so scattered and all over the place, stops feeling so drained. And then you start to decipher, because the biggest thing about, like when you said there, Karen, about, you know, how do you, what did you say? Where should someone start has a feeling of bad juju? You know, like, you don't know where it's coming from, usually, you know, when you first, unless you're very in tune or been working your exercises on your muscles, right? You become very quickly working your exercise, working your intuitive muscles through specific exercises and stuff that becomes normal over time. Is that, you know, like if you start feeling bad, like automatically you can just kind of follow the thread and like pick it up and know where it's coming from immediately. But if you're new to this kind of stuff, it can take a bit of practice to start to get clear on whose energy it is, where it's coming from, is it yours, how did you attract it, why is it here, how do you get rid of it, you know, all those sorts of things. Whereas, like I was saying, Mo, and you know, when you actually do the specific exercises, you become very clear and you become, you know, very acute in your, you know, it's like if you think of that, you know, use that analogy of a marathon runner, you know, it knows what diet to eat without looking at the sheet of telling him how to do it anymore, sort of thing, you know, it becomes a way of life, basically. So with that recalling your energy meditation, then you can pull your energy back into yourself, and that way you start to get clearer. Okay, is this my energy? Is this somebody else's energy? And that's like your first port of call to be able to go, okay, where's this coming from? Rather than just being all melded into everything, you're starting to separate your energy from everybody else's energy and starting to, you know, tune in and build those muscles that start to get you more acutely aware all the time, yeah? So again, like I said, don't go quick to point the blame, because we're always look at ourselves first, you know, heal yourself, and that usually disappears on its own. So is it Liliani? Is that how you say your name? Oh my God, yes, that makes so much sense. I totally forgot. Sometimes I get so caught up and forget to pull back. Exactly, yeah, and we all do it at times. And again, that's a muscle as well, you know, like the more we, you know, do that, we become quicker at pulling ourselves up, and then eventually we actually don't go there. So, you know, definitely that in itself is a muscle too. So I'll just quickly finish this bit and then look at the comments. So when you pull your energy back into yourself, you know, when we're talking about manifesting too, like, you know, pulling your energy back into yourself and having that bit of separation, I guess, stops you from like holding on and like, oh, it's got to be this way and I want this to manifest and this has got to happen, right? And we can actually, you know, kind of let go of the reins and, you know, pull our energy back into ourselves, focus on ourselves, and that way we're coming from a full vibration and full feeling of fullness, you know, because it's the thoughts, yes, but where the thoughts create the feelings, and it's the feelings that attract on a vibrational level. So when we're coming from a full place, which is recalling your energy, lots of self-care, coming back into yourself, keep handing over the worry to the universe and going, here, I'm giving this to you to work out. And that way, you know, you can manifest a lot quicker when you're full rather than coming from an empty vibration, yeah, when you're trying to hold on and make it happen this way. Because the last little thing I wanted to say about that was, Manifesting magic, pulling your energy back in. Let me get it. It was just there. Oh, it's on the tip of my tongue. It'll come through. Tip of my intuitive tongue, I should say. Oh, come on, it was right there. Manifesting magic, pulling your energy back in is your golden key. Oh, it's right there. It's alright. It'll come through in a minute, I'm sure. Okay. So, there's a couple of different comments there. They cut off on my phone, so I'll just see if I can bring them up here. Okay. You're welcome, Merwin. I like your names that fully said every time I say I'm going to say it's Merlin. Okay. So, Carrie, how do you authentically grieve and not pull out sadness when you're also wanting to manifest? Does a bad cleansing day where you cry affect manifestation? People talk so much about positivity, and yet emotions are more varied than that. Yes, I talk deeply about this in module 1 of Trust Your Intuition, simply because it's like, you know, like I've got 5 modules in Trust Your Intuition. Number 1 is all about that, and number 5 is all about manifesting what you're worth. And then all the in between gets you shifting through all your shit to get there, right? Step by step. Because these are the most common questions I get asked all the time, and that's why I created Trust Your Intuition, because it's all there. So, you know, and the thing is with that, like, you know, people, I hear that quite regularly, you know, people worry because they have a bad day or a sad day or a grieving day, and then they get more pissed off at themselves because they're like, oh, now I've like ruined all my manifestation efforts of being positive and all that sort of thing. So what's coming to mind to share with you is that when you move forward, I don't know how to describe this, but when you move forward with something, more stuff comes up. And I'm trying to figure out how to say that. I'm seeing this visual, but I'm trying to explain that to you. It's like, I don't know what the word is actually. I don't know how to describe it to you, but basically, you know, like, no, I don't know how to describe the visual that I was getting about do that. So with, okay, does a bad cleansing day affect where you cry manifestation? I personally don't think so. What does affect it is like you'll have this bad crying day, right? Bad grieving day. I don't even want to call it bad because I don't think it is, right? You'll have a grieving day, right? And the thing that will keep you spiraling down, the thing that will thwart your manifestation process is this little part, this second part of you that's going, oh my God, I can't believe you're upset because now we've ruined all the manifestation efforts. So it's like you've got this sadness and you've got this anger, right? Inside yourself, yeah? And then what you'll find is people outside of you will go, oh, you shouldn't cry, you shouldn't do that, because inside you're going like this, right? Whereas if you can turn this part into a, oh, you're really upset today, okay, let's just make it a self-care day, let's just turn our phone off, let's go to bed early, let's watch a Suki movie, let's have a bath, let's do something nurturing, and then the next day you'll probably be on fire because you actually honored your emotions. We have cycles, there's day and night, the tide goes in and out, the moon, you know, changes through 28 days. As a woman, we go through hormonal changes every single day. Over 28 days, it goes around and around. You know, I teach about the moon in Trust Your Intuition, the moon cycles and attuning to the moon cycles, because, you know, then you can be more gentle with yourself. You can go, okay, cool, when you track your cycles, yeah, and you don't even need the course to do this, you can track your cycles and monitor the weeks where you don't feel good, and you know, over time you become so acutely aware of what's going in your body. You're like, you can feel the changes within your body. You're like, oh, and then you look at the calendar, like, oh yeah, that makes sense, right, okay, time to be more gentle with myself. This week, my self-care goes up. Right? Because I know that I'm moving into my moon cycle and I need to take extra care of myself. And, you know, like, does that thought manifestation process? No, right? There's ebbs and flows and cycles for a reason. It's learning how to ride them, it's learning how to read them, and it's learning how to be with them, okay? So, you know, and when I say, you know, does a bad cleansing day, you know, where you cry affect manifestation, like I said, what will affect manifestation is you know, beating yourself up, which is that shouldn't be crying, should be happy, will pull you down more rather than just going, oh, it sounds like you need more love today, yeah? Because what happens when you actually accept that emotion and you actually, you know, let that move through you, like, that's what it does, is you honor it And so it moves through you rather than it being stuck in your body, because when you love and accept it, what does love do? Love dissolves everything. Love makes everything better. Love might make you cry more, but what does that do? Then you feel better because it's moved through you. Whereas if you come in with the love and you're like, that's going to sit there and you're like, oh, well, I shouldn't be upset. So then you'll put on this face and then you'll put on these brave face and you're walking around with this thing of armor and wondering why you're not attracting relationships because you've got a big wall of armor up, right? Especially if you're a woman, you know, like gentleness breeds gentleness and steps you into your femininity and, you know, attracts the men that can support that, yeah? I don't know why I started talking about that. So, to answer your question, I don't believe. What I was getting to the point of was, you know, what will thwart your progress is if you sit in that negative emotion for a long period of time. Now, it's taken me a long time to accept that I feel as an empath and, you know, and how to support myself as that, right? Because I feel everyone else's emotions and I also feel mine. So with these specific exercises, I've gained clarity about what's mine, what's not mine, what I can let go of quicker. When I feel sad, is this mine? Is this somebody else's? Okay, cool, that's theirs. All right, sweet. I can support them, send them love, hold them in that love vibration. Doesn't mean I need to fix them. I can send them love because I can feel them reaching out to me energetically. Got that, sweet. Can move on. It's not mine. You know, when you do feel that own emotions, like, okay, I'm really sad today, yeah, I need to take a bath and turn my phone off, right? It's okay to do that, especially when you track your cycles and you know your cycles. So that kind of leads Merwin into how to tell the difference between your energy and somebody else's energy, right? It's that, you know, getting clear on yourself. Getting hot under my big lights. Getting clear under that hot light. The more you can tune into yourself and your own, you know, intuition and your own feelings, and like I said, start recalling your energy back. It's the #1 first place to go. Recall your energy. I posted the link in the comments for that free meditation. And then the internal compass chakra clearing would be the one. I do them like every day if you're just starting out, because it's going to become, it gets you one, exercising your intuitive muscles. Yeah, we've got 4 specific intuitive muscles. It gets you exercising them, and it also clears your energy, and it also strengthens your chakras. Yeah, because your chakras all have consciousness and affect every area of your life, affecting your organs, affecting your energy levels, all of that sort of thing. Karen says, oh my god, 20 years. What's that for? What's the 20 years for? I'm just going to check these comments because they don't always come up. Do I have a book available for purchase? I've actually got 9 books that I wrote in 10 months. They are the Chakra Consciousness books. So you can buy them as a set. There's 9 of them. You can buy them in a, you know, set with the audio meditations, which is just a ridiculous price, actually. I'll just share the link for that too. You can have a look at those. I'm currently writing these ones I'm about to share with you, the Chakra Consciousness books. They're more like process books, I guess. So you can buy them with or without the meditations. But if you buy them, either way that you buy them, when you read through them, you'll see there's actually like a meditation and a space to write down your process. So they are very self-help books. And I'm currently writing my big book, or my big book, it feels really like a big baby, is the Handbook for Ancient Blooded Healers. So I posted an excerpt on my page early last week, so if you scroll down through my page you'll probably see that there. So at the moment, yeah, I've got those books, so they're real self-help books. Like, honestly, if you want to start self-healing, they're the books to go to. And then obviously my Trust Your Intuition course that, you know, is now open. That closes on the, what is it, the 29th of November. I'll post a link in the comments for that too. I wasn't planning on posting all these links, but everybody's asking me, so I'm posting them. So the Trust Your Intuition there is my, that is my big baby, that one. That is a self-paced online course. There's over 100 videos in there. There's over 60 audio meditations in that course, and that's a self-paced online course. You get lifetime access to that. In that there's like you join the membership group then, and I do, you know, private live streams in that group for group support every fortnight. So there's a lot of, you know, support with that, because it's not a normal online course where I just say bye. Like, we're actually digging deep into your consciousness here, and, you know, I'm here to support with that, because, you know, like I said, like, kudos to who actually do the work and, you know, look at your own self and look at your own shadow, because that's how we're going to change the world. Yeah. That's how long I've let the ongoing unrelentless stress and depression control my life. I would buy your book, post the links. Yeah, I just posted the links there for you, so you can suss that out. With the Trust Intuition 2 and the doors closing on the 29th, that you'll never see that at that price again. Like, the price is going up significantly after the 29th, so if that calls to it at all, I'd jump in there before the 29th. You get instant access to that as well. It's all there for you. So I just wanted to check these comments. Okay, cool. So I'm pretty sure. Alright, so Carrie says, thank you, then I am okay, I'm doing that. I began judging my emotions, but then I knew I needed to allow myself to cleanse, cry. Okay, yeah, and just wanted to say to that too, you know, and this goes for everybody, you know, if you're finding that you're attracting abusive relationships or attracting relationships where people are mean to you in any, you know, love, relationship, career, family, whatever it is, do you know where that starts? That starts with you being vulnerable and upset and you going, yeah? It's just reflecting this going on. So that's when you start shifting that, and yes, it can take time. So you begin judging your emotions. That's the old pattern, right? It takes a little bit of time and practice to change those muscles and neural pathways and the, you know, the practice. And when you start, like I said, you catch yourself quicker. So you began judging your emotions, and then you caught yourself, and you're like, okay, cool, I need to love myself and just be okay with being upset for a bit. Our society is not comfortable with crying, and I teach this in Trust Your Intuition in the first module, that crying, right, crying actually releases the stress hormone cortisol from your body. So, you know, it's like, sure, Karen, it's like, you know, like going to the toilet to eliminate through urine and feces is like, it serves a definite purpose. We need to get that out of our body, or it will clog up. All our organs will, you know, clog up, and then, you know, plus the bacteria that would just rot inside of us, right? It serves a definite purpose. So does sweating, so does tears, yeah? And, you know, and I say this with kids too, it's like, and the way that we usually treat ourselves when we're upset, so this feeling upset and then we're is usually comes because as a child, shut up, stop crying, go to your room, stop crying, or give you something to cry about, you know, that's nothing on our caregivers when we're growing up. That's just how they were brought up and how the people before them were brought up. Yet us here now becoming aware, the, you know, awakening of the globe, or whatever you want to call it, you know, the new generation coming through is like, right, the buck stops here. This is enough of this. And, you know, if my child's upset, like, and, you know, it's aware parenting, hand-in-hand parenting, non-violent communication, unschooling philosophy, all of that, you know, is this conscious parenting, and, you know, accepting the whole child and their whole emotions, not like, stop crying, it's okay, and jiggling them up and down. It's like, oh, you're feeling really upset, mummy's here, I'm not going anywhere, it's okay to cry, you know, you're really upset about your toy broken, mummy's here, you know, it's not like trying to fix them, it's just like, oh, you're really upset. It's acknowledging how they feel, because then it shifts through them, yeah? Sorry, so I got sidetracked. So, and then you felt so grateful that you were able to feel authentically. Yes, there we go. You're a huge empath, and so hear what you mean. So it's more about being aware and to know when I need to nurture and allow emotions to flow. Yes. Maybe like a river. Yes. For a while, I was feeling like every time I was healing, grieving over my separation, I was setting myself back, trying to be whole again and perhaps find the healing between my partner and I in the future. I think I would definitely want to do the intuition course. Yeah, I was just going to say, because in module 1, I just got goosebumps reading that. I got goosebumps. In the module 1, I explain the grief cycle in detail, because any change that comes on, and I think I've shared this with you actually, any change that goes on, you know, with moving house, relationship breakup, somebody dying, someone saying they're going to meet up with you and then they don't, you know, something little or something big triggers the grief cycle. And when you know, and I just wanted to speak to that too. Oh yeah, so, you know, if you have a relationship breakup, it'll come in waves. Yeah, it'll be like you have a massive cry day and you're like, okay, cool, I've moved through it. And then like 2 weeks later, something might trigger you and you'll be in your tears again. Allow that, yeah, because it comes in cycles. And you know, how long does the grief cycle last? It could last 2 days, it could last 3 years, right? I highly recommend getting support with grief if you're getting stuck. You know, or if you feel like you need support, well then definitely reach out. And I say that in Trust Your Intuition. But the other thing I was just going to say there too, you know, so it's more about being aware and to know when I need to nurture and allow emotions to flow. Definitely, because with that, I was just going to like say to that, what came through when I read that for you was, it gets easier. So like I said, it's a muscle, yeah, with your intuition and knowing what's your energy and somebody else's and blah, blah, blah. With, you know, your emotions and your empath abilities, that gets stronger too. So, you know, when you're in the early stages and you're like, oh, actually, this is my grief, and you cry, and that's fine. Like, you know, don't discount your trust in yourself of whose energy is what. That's your number one rule. When you start feeling upset, you like... And the reason I specifically go through the grief cycle in detail in module 1 is because when you understand that and then you have an emotional outburst or whatever, you're able to support yourself quicker and it moves through quicker. So you don't sit in it for as long. It will always happen, right? It's like, so they said, like, people will always get triggered. Stuff will always happen. It's how you respond to it that matters, right? So, but it gets quicker and quicker, especially when you understand it. You're like, okay, cool, right, this is happening, all right? So you know what the kind of process is. It enables you to support yourself through it, and it gets faster and faster. That muscle gets faster and faster. Because otherwise, you're stuck there thinking that something's wrong with you. You're not normal. People are like, stop crying, you know, stop being a baby. You know, it's starting to become more aware in society nowadays that, you know, it's more acceptable and it's quite normal to have emotions because we're human beings, and it's not about being happy all the time and just put a band-aid on it. It doesn't work. It festers, right? We don't put a positive over the negative because it will fester. So yeah, so just, you know, and that's why I keep saying, you know, like when you said Merwin at the start, you know, do you have to do the exercises? Well, it depends how fit of a marathon runner you want to be before you actually run the marathon. So, you know, that's a personal choice. It just depends how clear and accurate you want to be in your intuition and how much you don't want to be, you know, trampled on by everyone's energy all the time, because that's a big thing about an empath, is that we do feel everything all the time, and it gets too much, and you know, but when you can strengthen those particular muscles, then you're able to have those tools at hand, and you get quicker and quicker and stronger, so you're able to, you know, move through stuff quicker and go, it's actually not mine. And you know, like I said, you might go into it again, you're like, oh, I did it again, but then next time you're like, oh no, I know what, I'm not going there again. Then you're like, oh, I see it over there, I'm just gonna keep going. Right? It gets stronger. Yeah? Cool. Thanks for joining me live, and thanks for the questions. I feel like there's something else I was going to say, because I wanted to talk to that. Manifesting magic, pulling your energy back is your golden key. There was something else I was going to say about the manifesting thing. The ideas. That's what it was. So when we start to like pull our energy back in, do, you know, clear our energy, get clear on our muscles, you know, it's kind of part and parcel of personal development, of manifesting, right? So we've done that bit. That's number 1. Now the thing I wanted to talk to, the manifesting magic, how pulling energy back in is key, is that you get clear about what's your energy and what's someone else's. Then when you get stuck about which direction do you want to go in and all that sort of thing, you're like, you'll get a million ideas, especially when you start you know, like shifting old wounds and stuff like that. Like energetically you become lighter and you open your spiritual muscles, and so your wisdom flows through, and you're like, oh my god, that's an awesome idea, where did that come from? Like, you know, there's your claircognizance switched on and connected to spirit. You're connecting into the collective consciousness, the divine wisdom, and allowing that to flow through you. So the thing that I want to say before I lose my train of thought again is that if you are getting a million ideas about all these amazing things that you could create in the world, or that you could do, or anything like that, don't let anybody tell you that you're crazy. If you're crazy, if they tell you you're crazy, maybe you don't need to have them in your life. I don't know. Maybe not as drastic as that, but I don't want you to discount your crazy ideas, right? In the Trust Intuition tribe, we're all for crazy ideas, right? Because what this is energy flowing through you. You are a manifester, you are a creator, and if you resonate with being an empath or any of this stuff that I've talked about, you are a little bit different to mainstream, and for a good reason, right? So I always refer to, and I love Steve Jobs, because, you know, without him and his crazy ways and crazy ideas, we wouldn't have the technology that we would today. We probably would have been in a different form, but we've got Apple because of him and his crazy ideas, and so many people told him that it couldn't be done and he was crazy, and he continued because he trusted the crazy ideas. He didn't know how it was going to happen, but he knew it could happen, and he just made it happen, right? So the thing I really want to say is that if you've got a million ideas, don't discount them. You know, when people say, oh, you have to do one thing at a time, you know, like all this sort of thing. It's okay to do a million things at once. Make sure you're finishing each one of those million things though, right? That's the important thing, because I know for me, when I get in my flow, my workflow, and I start working at my computer and I start, you know, creating my courses and doing all my things that I'm guided to do, when I sit there and do them, I'll like, okay, well, I need to do this first. And then all of a sudden this idea will come in, and I'll just jump, and I'll have like 50 like tabs open on my computer page on my browser, and just be like doing all these things, and I'll be like doing, oh, then I have to do this and this, and I'll do all that, and then I get to a point and I'm like, oh, I wouldn't have been able to even finish this had I not gone in that thing, right? And that's what happens when intuition and, you know, flows through you when you're creating and manifesting, and it's just trusting it. It's like, if you get an idea, and this is my live stream yesterday, if you get an idea, do you trust it, right? Because those ideas flowing through, you know, and you talk about the river carry, you know, is it like a river with emotions? It's the same with intuition and energy, right? And your ideas, it's like, you know, if you get an idea and you're like, oh, that's cool, oh, I don't know about that, and you doubt it, well, then you're going to put a block on that, right? And it backs the dam up, and then we get depressed because we're, you know, like holding all this energy back, and we're just like so tiring because we're trying to hold all this up. Whereas if we just trusted it, acted on it, the flow keeps going, and we're beaming with energy, right? Yeah, definitely. Numerology, I don't know if it's numerology. Now, let me see, it's in my car. Doreen Virtue, you may or may not have heard of her, but I've got so many of her card decks, and recently she came out and moved to Christianity. She's trusting herself. I trust her trusting herself. However, what I'm a little bit sad about is a lot of her cards and some books and stuff have been taken off the shelf by Hay House because of her shift to Christianity. And for me personally, I'm like, oh no. But hey, they're trusting their choices, and that's fine. I'm dealing with that. However, before she shifted, Doreen created a book called Angel Numbers, and now you could also get it as an app, but because of all the constant updates with, you know, technology, and I'm pretty sure because of the shift that she's had to Christianity, that app hasn't been updated by the creator, I noticed on my phone, because I use it all the time. But I do have the little books now. Whether you can still buy that book or not, I'm not sure, but it's called Angel Numbers 101. It's in my car because I see number plates and numbers all the time, and, you know, it's a very well-worn book. I've had it for 12 years. So like the triple numbers like that, or you're seeing the 1111. So all the ones, the 1111s usually are all about, you know, your thoughts are manifesting rapidly into form. So I know the numbers off by heart because I've had this book in my car for 12 years, so I know a lot of them off. So like 111 is your thoughts are manifesting into form very quickly, so be mindful of what you're thinking about, yeah. And I always think too, you know, if you Google that sort of number, it comes up with like the portals are opening as well, like you're stepping into a portal of time and stuff, so you're manifesting quickly. 1, I'm pretty sure is something along those lines. I'd have to double check, but 444 is like you're surrounded by thousands of angels right now, you're supported, and the 222s are, you know, like keep the faith, you know, things are manifesting. So yeah, all the 22s are like have faith, it's happening sort of thing, yeah. But yeah, so, I mean, just Googling that, but, you know, you still might be able, I don't know, maybe if they've taken it off Amazon or something. I'll just write it in the comments and you can have a search around, but it's literally called Angel Numbers 101 by Doreen Virtue. So I just don't know if she's still got that book or not on there. But that's where I'd recommend about that. So, thanks for joining me live, everybody. And, yeah, so, you know, what I was talking about with all the ideas flowing and doing 10 things at once, you know, like, that's manifesting magic, you know, like, you get an idea, you act on it, you know, straight away if you can, because it lets the next step in and the next step in and the next step in, right? When you keep doing it, otherwise it just banks up and banks up, like I said, yeah? So, you know, and trust that you might not know why you get guided to do something, right? But then later on the information, you'll be like, oh, that's why I had to do that, right? Whereas sometimes you don't ever get shown, but that comes back to, again, trust. And that's why my course is called Trust Your Intuition. So, you're very welcome, Carrie, and thank you everyone else who has joined me live. I look forward to connecting with you again. Please have a wonderful week. Remember, keep it real. Lots of love. Namaste.